Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. Jared here with a very special review from Fanboys Forever. Today we're going to be looking at the Rulers of the Sun, Sunman. Now, of course, this is from Masters of the Universe Origins, and this has been a hotly anticipated release for all of us big Masters fans. In particular, I'm talking about just how pleasantly surprised everyone was to see Mattel embarking on this journey to basically bring legitimacy to what was seen as a very, very well-intentioned kind of spin-off line from He-Man. Of course, it wasn't officially sanctioned or anything like that, but it very much used the bodies and things that were familiar to He-Man collectors. And of course, there was a ton of different lines like this at the time. The story behind this brand is a very good one, as the lady who developed it answering sort of a need because her son talked about how He-Man didn't look like him, and she wanted to create a character that he could identify with. And so I really think this is quite lovely, and she was heavily involved in this. So there's a lot of goodwill and things going into this particular release. Now, what you're seeing today isn't the standard retail release of Sunman, which is going to be in this latest wave of Masters of the Universe Origins that was held back just a little bit to make it more of a special release and kind of have it be its own thing separate from the rest of the wave with Anti-Eternia He-Man and Clawful and the Horde Trooper. Instead, this is the sort of early premium release from Mattel Creations, and we pre-ordered this many months ago. It was supposed to be here a long time ago, but I'm glad that it's finally hitting just now. So if you've not got yours yet, be on the lookout for one of those shipping notifications from Mattel Creations. Let's go ahead and look at the packaging. One of the more premium differences is our packaging. This is meant to be completely collector friendly. In this transparent plastic slip, you can see all the card art. It says recommended for the adult collector, Rulers of the Sun, Sunman. With magical melanin skin, he brings the light shining brighter on all worlds when good people unite. That's really nice. That's a lovely little thing. I like the thing about the magical melanin skin right there. That's pretty cool. Sunman is the greatest hero of them all. Here we have Sunman right here in the card. He does come with an alternate angry expression, which is really nice. There's the shield. Everything's looking really good with this sample. I'm particularly pleased with the paint sample that I got. That's something that you never really know what you're going to get when you're blind buying from something like this. On the back, there's a couple of things to be aware of. Mine came like this, where there's this card on the back, and you can see Motu Collectors. It's this really nice embossed kind of foil collector's card. And on the other side, you have something really nice. It's kind of hard to read unless you get it in the light just right, but it says basically it's a crossover with Motu Collectors and Rulers of the Sun, Sunman. This certifies that your Masters Universe Origins Rulers of the Sun, Sunman action figure was created by the collaborative efforts of designers and creatives at Mattel and the creator of Sunman. This is really nice. I really like that it has her signature, and this is just a great way to commemorate the special character. We have some absolutely lovely art that was created for the back of the card there, and this gets to my next point about how collector friendly this is. As you can see, all of this just slips out, and this is just a plastic tray. Now, here's hoping that this is kind of the pattern that Mattel Creations follows with any of their future Masters products. And if you look, you can actually open this up. You can see Pighead right here, the villain from the Rulers of the Sun, and you actually get a comic. And I read through this. This really is a beautifully illustrated, just awesome story and explanation of Pighead and Sunman and his father. And this is just really nice. This is one of the better pieces of art that they've done for any of the Masters Universe Origins comics, and I highly suggest that you track down this thing and read it. It is really nice, especially with the great art of Sunman and Pighead right here. So it really does feel like a premium event. And of course, you can reassemble all the packaging and make it like you never opened the thing. So it's really great for people like me who are gonna play with their figures. I'm not gonna leave it in the package. So let's go ahead and get Sunman out. Just keep in mind that no matter how collector friendly the rest of the packaging is, the accessories do come packaged in a big plastic bag on the back. So it's not like you can replace this exactly as you got it once you take them out. And here we have Sunman himself right out of the packaging. So let's go ahead and get into the actual look of the figure. First off, I gotta say, it's a really tight look for the figure itself. I really like this head sculpt. I like that it's not so aggressive. It's not trying to be overly macho or anything like that. Sunman seems like he has a very neutral and yet kind of positive expression. I really like it, and it harkens back to the original figure. And the Rulers of the Sun toy line isn't something that I have actual personal nostalgia for or anything like that, but I know it was really important to a lot of kids, and so having that kind of accuracy here is very important, and I do think that it looks really good, especially compared to that original figure. You can also see that he's got his kind of wings of the sun right there, and it's just a neck piece, just like the original toy had. Moving on down, you can see that he's got his armor, and I absolutely love this kind of shiny effect. And Mattel seems to be the king of doing all the kind of shiny, metallic looking effects lately. But this isn't done in like vac metallization. This appears to be more of just kind of the glittery, kind of shiny paint. So it's not exactly that same process that we've been seeing with some of the other figures lately. So it's really nice to see it done a different way and yet see it done so well, almost looking like a sound effect burst, onomatopoeia or something like that from a comic book. So that's really nice. Moving on down, you can see that his furry shorts are definitely unique to him. This isn't quite like any of the other Masters figures. You can see I've got a little bit of some paint scuffage or something right there on the buckle, but it's so minute, I'm not even sure how much it shows up on camera, so that's not something I'm worried about at all. And down here, you can actually see that they have the paint applications for the stars on these bright, shiny red boots with the cuffs. So that's really fantastic looking. Over here, you can see that he's got these wristbands that are just really nice. You can see that there's a really nice diamond design, and the paint is actually pretty tight on that. Now, one thing that I will let you know is that if you don't want him to have the sun wing things, you can actually just take this off. So if you want him to have more of a neutral look, you can completely do that. I think it looks fine like this. This might be a great way to display him as well. However, for me, he does seem to lose a little something without the wings, so I like the wings being there. On the back, you can see a lot of the details carry through. There's definitely a little bit more paint scuffage on the back right here, and it's a little more noticeable. I don't care too much about it being on the back. I'm just glad that it wasn't on the front. So it's just something to be on the lookout for with this particular release. Of course, there's a few accessories that the figure comes with. One of them was the staff that Sunman uses to control the power of the sun right here. And it's nothing necessarily to write home about. It's just done in kind of a shiny, slightly metallic red. It's not anything that looks quite as mesmerizing as his chest armor or anything like that. But I think it's a nice accessory, and certainly good that he didn't just have a bog standard sword. Even more exciting, though, is his cool shield. I like the design of the sun and how there's just so much vividness going on here. One of the things the creator of Sunman was quoted as saying is talking about how there was a lot of Mayan and Aztec kind of influence with some of the colors and some of the different cultural things in the toy line, and that's really obvious. So I'm really glad to see those colors brought forward. But there's a few other things to be aware of as well. One of them is an alternative head. It's a very simple matter to swap the heads out, and I have to say, I think I like the angry head even more than the standard. It gives him a lot of presence and a lot of viciousness, so I really like it. It's great that they have the standard head as well, because if he's jamming around with He-Man, you don't want him to look like he's having a heart attack, you know, while he's just in standard conversation. So I really do like this quite a bit. Something else he comes with is, because both of these hands are grasping hands, he actually comes with some fists. And this is something that I'm very glad to see. It's something we don't get quite enough, so you can easily switch out the hands if you want him to just go into pulverizing mode. Let's say that you really want Sunman to harness the power of the sun, its full might, then you're going to love this beautiful transparent effect that can be put directly over the staff. Now, I will tell you, it's a very, very tight fit once you get it on there. And once you have it on there, it is nice. But the one thing I will say about it is it does make the figure pretty top heavy. So he's a lot more liable to fall over, which has already happened while I've been posing him around like this. Still, it's great to get this premium accessory and something that you're only going to get if you have this Mattel Creations version. So to me, definitely these extra accessories were worth it to get this plussed up bonus version. It would be a real disservice if I didn't show him jamming around with He-Man right here. And just seeing these two guys together, they look fantastic. There's something about the colors for Sunman and something about the colors for He-Man. They're just complementary. It feels like Sunman was always a part of the vintage line, even though he wasn't. And this is just a great thing that Mattel has done, acknowledging a fan spin-off of the brand, giving the creators a seat at the table, making He-Man a little more inclusive, a little more diverse. It's just a lovely thing, and it's something that I wish more toy makers were thinking about when they put these lines together. It's just awesome to see these guys side by side. And of course, Sunman's scale works perfectly with Masters of the Universe Origins, because many of his parts are reused. I'm not going to sit here and spend forever on articulation because you know what to expect. Of course, the head can go up and down, side to side. You know that there's nothing at the abdomen, but the waist can turn. You also know the shoulder has a really good hinge right there. You can push it to where it's right at 90 degrees. You know there's a swivel at the elbow. There's a single jointed hinge, which gets you to about 90 degrees. You know that the hand is able to rotate. There's a hinge in all of the hands that you get. Down here at the legs, you can do some really good splits, and you can bring them back together. You can do a really effective kick as well. You have a single joint right here at the knee. There is a rotation at the knee. There is a rotation at the boot. There is also a hinge at the ankle and plenty of ankle pivot so that you can get this guy in those really deep poses like you saw earlier. Overall, the articulation is just as effective as ever, and I'm not going to spend forever talking about it. How great is it that after all this time, that it's not just a half-hearted effort or just kind of a one-and-done plug-in thing or just a diversity initiative or just a whatever, that there's been sincere effort and care taken to make sure that Sunman was brought into the Masters of the Universe continuity in a way that seems cohesive and fun. And now there's 2 different mini-comic stories with all the resources on art and writing spent to make that happen. The special edition figure release, more figures coming from the Rulers of the Sun line as we go, including the revised kind of New Adventures era look of Sunman where he has the buzz cut. Digitino, Pighead, you name it, all these characters coming into the line, and I am here for it. This is really, really fun what they put together. It's a great release from Mattel Creations. I actually got a lot more out of this than I did the mini comics Triclops, which seem to be fraught with all kinds of little quality control hiccups here and there. This guy doesn't suffer from hardly as much of that. Of course, it's always difficult when you're blind buying something like this because you can't pick out the sample yourself, but I'm left with a really, really, really strong figure that actually looks better in production than it did in prototype, which is always just a tremendous thing whenever that's possible. So in the end, seeing displays like this be possible with this new Sunman figure is just a real treat and something that I think a lot of adult collectors are just going to eat up. And if the success of Sunman on Mattel Creations is anything to go by, then Sunman should do fairly well at retail. Now, how successful will the Rulers of the Sun characters be as they're sprinkled into these future waves of Masters of the Universe Origins? I have no idea. And nor is that any kind of comment on the social aspect of it, or if people want to make it about that. I'm not even going to entertain anything like that. To me, this is a win, to where something that came from a very good place has now made its way into actual Masters of the Universe continuity. And to me, having that level of diversity, making the line look more like the collectors and the kids who actually collect it, it's not only overdue, but it's something that can't possibly be a bad thing. More Masters, more diversity, more expansion can only be positive. And I love that Sunman is the one that's lighting the way to a whole new era of Masters of the Universe Origins. All right, friends, I certainly hope that you've enjoyed this really special review for Sunman today. And of course, let me know down below, did you order this guy from Mattel Creations? Did you order the standard version and you're just going to call it a day at that? How do you feel about them bringing the Rulers of the Sun toy line, something that was previously an unofficial kind of Masters adjacent toy line, I guess we could say, bringing that into standard continuity? Do you feel like it's a good move? How do you think these characters are going to do with collectors? Are you glad, like me, to see Mattel just continue to expand Masters of the Universe in very unexpected ways? Sure seems like 2022 is shaping up to be an even better year for Masters than 2021, and that's saying something. All right, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You know that we've got all sorts of great new reviews and videos coming up, lots of them about Masters of the Universe, lots of news videos. You know how we do here on Fanboys Forever. Of course, be sure to like the video. It really does help us to grow. It seems like we're growing all the time, so a sincere thank you to all of our new subscribers, people that are just joining us. There's never been a better time to become a part of that Fanboy family. And as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out.